Kaveri and Godavari.
Very nice. Who else? I think Rohit raised his hand. Yes, Rohit.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I've got the same answer.
Okay, Avishi, you want to answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Ganga, Yamuna, Indus, Saraswati and Kaveri.
Very nice. All right, next. The 4 dhams of India. Char dham.
Prabhuji, can I answer?
Shrinika, yes.
Can I answer?
Shrinika and Amor. Shrinika?
The Char Dham are Jagannath Puri in the east, Dwarka in the west, Rameshwaram in the south, and Badrinath in the north.
Wonderful. Amor, you have the same answer?
Yes, sir.
All right. What does Bhagavad Gita literally mean? What is the meaning of the word?
Can I tell?
So,
Yeah,
please
Shivya.
answer.
Shivya.
The song of God.
All right. Is she giving the right answer? Everybody agrees?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. How many total verses in the Bhagavad Gita?
Sir, can I answer this?
Amor, yes.
700 verses.
700. How many are spoken by Krishna?
620 verses.
No.
5.
Pardon?
575 verses. 620.
No, not 620. It's 575 round. Avishi, who told you?
You.
When?
I'm in the first class.
Okay, okay. Garima, you want to answer?
Her name is Sanvi.
Who?
Sir, Karima is her mother. Her name is Sanvi.
She is logged in with that name, so I'm.
Yeah, it's her mother's name.
Yeah, Sanvi, yes.
Yeah, I don't know that my name is Tim.
How many verses spoken by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita? Sanvi? We can't even see you. We are only seeing the paintings behind you. Okay, yes. Now we can see you half of your face. All right, all right. Okay, next question. Now this is something that all of you must answer. Okay, after that, name the 7 sacred cities of India.
So, Prabhuji, can I answer?
Yes, Rohit and others, whoever wants to answer, raise
Okay.
it. Yeah, Rohit.
So first is Varanasi,
Hmm.
then Dwarka,
Hmm.
Tirupati,
Right.
Jagannath, Badrinath, Amarnath, Prem Mandir, Vrindavan, and Guruvayur.
No.
No?
Who else would like to answer? The 7 sacred cities according to the scriptures. Yes, Shivya.
I don't know if it's right or not. So I wrote Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, Kashi, Dwarka, Kanchi, and Avantika.
Perfect. Yes. Who told you this?
I did research.
Okay. You're right. Shanika, you have the same answer? All right. Next few questions, all of you can answer one. Just put your hands down because I don't know. Your hands are always up. Your hands will start hurting away if you keep them up always. Okay. Write the names of 3 people that make you most happy and why. Who wants to start? 3 names of, all right, 3 people who make you most happy and why. Are you all are not happy with people around you? Yes, Shivya. 3 people, name.
So one is Avishi because she always plays with me.
Who? Avishi, okay.
And one of my grandparents because they always listen to me.
Okay, acha.
And this one is not a person, but it's my dog.
Okay.
Uno. Because he's so playful and nice and friendly.
You didn't include Radhya?
No, he's very bossy.
You have to listen to her. Huh?
She has to listen to me.
Okay. All right. Yes, who else wants to answer?
We can go.
Yes, Rohit.
So first is my mom. She takes care of me. My dad, because he loves me unconditionally, and my cousin, because we have a great bond and friendship.
What's the name of the cousin?
His name is Ronak.
Ronak. Very good. Shinika, you want to answer? 3 people that make you most happy in life. Sanvi.
So one is maybe my one dog who comes over, Obi, because he comes over every week.
That's all.
No, and then I have my grandparents because they give me my phone whenever I want, and they can also listen to me if I tell that Nani, you give me your phone for 10 days.
Oh, that's why they are nice. Huh? Because they give you the phone whenever you want.
Yeah. Because my Nani doesn't really like the phone.
Radhya, what about you?
I've only written 2.
Okay, tell us 2.
One is Sanvi, because she loves me unconditionally, and I have lot of fun playing with Sanvi.
Who is Sanvi?
Sanvi.
The one who just spoke? Okay, and who else?
And Avishi, because I love spending time with her and she always helps me. And my mother, because she takes very good care of me and she fulfills all my needs.
And no Shivya in the list? All right, the next question now. Okay. Right. 3 things that you are most thankful for in your life, grateful for. That you're so happy having these 3 things in your life. 3 things.
Or people?
People to ho gaya. Now there was 3 things that you are most grateful for. Yes, Shivya.
So one is the homecoming of my dog Uno, my garden, and my fidget toy box.
3 things, very nice. Okay. Sanvi, yes? Your mic is off.
My TV, because it's very big and it's bigger than my usual TV. The usual TVs.
Okay, yeah, big TV.
And then my favorite second thing is my fidget toy. I got a puppet, which is like a tossing thing. It's like a spinner. It's around.
Okay. Right, Amor.
A fidget spinner, right?
Yeah.
Amor, yes.
My dog, my video games, and my books.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back to this. One good thing that you did recently to help someone or make someone happy. Raise your hand. If you all do some good things. Yes. Rohit?
Yes. I bought a friend chocolates that he loves.
Yes. Shivya, yes.
Yesterday, I spent most of the time with Uno to make him happy.
Okay. And Radhya?
I gave a chocolate to a poor kid when I was passing. That made the kid happy.
Nice.
Which kid?
I did one homework that made my mom happy.
Okay. Which kid? Shivya is asking. Why didn't you give it to her?
On the road.
On the road. Okay. Shivya, are you aware of this?
No.
It was yesterday in the evening. That's why.
Okay.
Which chocolate?
Okay. Last question. This is very important. This is from something that I've taught you in the first few sessions. This is very important to protect your faith. And so if you have to prove to a friend that God does exist, how would you do it? What would you say?
I don't know. I would say everything around us is God, I guess.
Okay. We had discussed some logic. if there is a creation, there must be a
Creator.
Creator.
there must be a creator. If there are laws, there must be a
Lawmaker.
Lawyer.
lawyer.
Lawmaker.
Lawmaker. If there is such nice, beautiful design things existing in this world, there must be somebody. If you need a person to draw a painting of the rose.
Architect.
A carpenter.
Okay.
A carpenter.
Architect.
So everything that you see, it has been made by someone. So if creation implies there must be a creator, so supreme creation must have a supreme creator. Just because we cannot see does not mean that he does not exist. Like in a city, there are so many places that we might not have seen. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It's just that we have not seen. So if we make an effort, we can see. There is oil in the oil seeds, but with these eyes, we can't see. Through a process, it can be seen. There is ghee in the milk, but we can't see. Through a process, it can be brought out. There is sugar in the sugar cane. Through a process, it can be brought out. And see.
Sir?
Yeah.
When will you show us magic? You said you will show us in the 4th class. I don't know. It will probably the 6th or the 7th.
Okay. Let's just finish this. आज का जो मुझे करना था. I'm going to begin the Dashavatars ka stories, if you'll allow.
Can you tell us a story?
Pardon?
Can you tell us a story?
Yeah, so the Dashavatars stories, the Matsyavatar and Kurmavatar, I'll tell you today. Are you all ready?
Yes.
So, the first avatar of...
I have one more question. When are we going to receive the box?
which box?
The books.
Books. They'll come this week. I have received the list, but not everybody has filled up the form. Only 23 people have filled up. So now everybody has to fill up. Just yesterday again we posted the link, and you can just get in touch with your parents, tell them to fill up the form, and this week mostly I'm going to courier all the books.
Okay, sir.
These books will have nice stories and nice pictures, some of them. So let's start, right? So the first avatar of the Lord is Matsyavatar. You know what's a Matsya? Matsya refers to a fish. And the story goes that long, long ago, there was a king of the name Satyavrat. What was the name?
Satyavrat.
Satyavrat king. So Satyavrat king was a great devotee of the Lord. So this story is going to teach us a very important lesson, and just see if you can figure that out. Otherwise, I'll definitely explain. So there was this king of the name Satyavrat. He was a great, great devotee of the Lord. Every day without fail, he would pray to the Lord. He had a temple in his kingdom, in his palace. He would worship the Lord. He would every day offer fresh flowers, tulsi, water, and nice things to eat to the Lord. He would personally clean the temple because God is the greatest person. So we should never feel shy in serving the Lord. So this king, he was a great devotee. And one fine day, he performed tapasya for a long, long time, and he was only drinking water, subsisting on water, nothing else. So one day, as he was sitting on the banks of a river, and as he was offering, have you ever seen how we worship Ganga? How do we worship Ganga? Have you ever seen people doing that?
You pick up Ganga Jal.
Yeah, you take Ganga Jal in your hands and put it back in the Ganges. So there was this king, and he took some water in his hands, but as he looked, he saw a small fish in his hands. And he immediately threw the fish into the water along with the handful of water that he was carrying. So what would you do if you suddenly get a fish in your hand? If you're swimming, you would throw it back, right, inside the water. But an amazing thing happened. The fish spoke in a human voice, and the fish said, "O king, please don't throw me here. There are so many aquatics in this river. They'll eat me up. I have taken shelter of you. You are the king. You must protect me. Save me, save me, save me." So the king was not able to understand. Still, he decided to give this fish protection. So he brought the fish back to the palace, and he put it in a water jug and went to sleep. Next morning, he saw the fish had grown so much that it could no longer stay inside that jug. And again, the fish called out in an appealing voice, O king, save me. This is not the right place for me to stay. This is too small, so put me somewhere else. I do not like staying in such a small place." So King Satyavrat took the fish out of water pot and threw him into a large well now. And however, within just a moment, the fish grew to 3 cubits, which is like a good size, and said, "My dear king, this well is also not enough for my residence. Please find me a more extensive pool of water, a bigger body of water. I can't live here." Then the king took the fish out of the well and threw him into a lake. And within no time, the fish immediately assumed a gigantic form that his body exceeded the size of the lake. And this is happening in front of the king. And the king is not able to understand what this is all about. Why is this happening? And again the fish said, O king, save me, save me. There are so many aquatics, they will kill me. This is a very small water body. I need a bigger water body. Then the king took the fish to the largest reservoir of water within the kingdom, but even that proved to be insufficient. And now finally, seeing no other option, now, which is the biggest water body in the world?
The ocean.
Ocean.
Finally, the king took this fish with the help of his men and threw it inside the ocean. And guess what happened now? Who would like to guess?
The ocean and the fish could not increase the size and then went to the normal size back.
Yeah, he went to his normal size.
No.
But the fish increased the size and became much bigger than the ocean.
Exactly. It covered the entire ocean. And again the fish said, "Oh hero, there are many powerful and dangerous sharks in the water that will eat me. So I have taken your shelter. You should not have thrown me into this place." What would you do if you get something like this in your life? Again, whatever you do, it's not enough. So how would you react?
I'm just going to leave it on one place. You're not even for what I am doing. I'm just going to leave
What will you do?
I would have explained to him that the river, whatever the king picked him the fish up from, is that it is his habitat. He cannot leave from that place.
Yeah.
So he'll be there.
But this was not an ordinary fish. That's why the king was king was bewildered, and he said, "Who are you? Your activities simply astonish me. They are so wonderful. In just one day, you have expanded yourself to 100 yojanas." You know what is yojana? It's a unit to measure distance. So 1 yojan is equal to 8 miles. So in one day, the fish grew to the size of 100 yojanas. So that means how many miles?
800 miles.
800 miles. That was the size. So he said, I have never seen or heard of such an aquatic. And then he said, most probably, I truly believe actually that you must be the Supreme Lord. You must be God Himself, who has appeared in this form to show mercy to all of us. So then the fish actually spoke. He said, yes, you're right. So the nature of the Lord is that He's very kind to His devotees. Just like mother and the
So
father.
that's why this fish is so big. So this
Yeah.
is the same exact fish.
Yeah. So what happened is, just like if the parents see some danger, wouldn't they caution their children? Okay, don't go there and avoid this situation, avoid going there, avoid doing this. Because they love their children the most. Although there are so many people in the world, but the parents would take care of their children first. So similarly, because for the Lord, everyone is equal, but He's specially very loving to His devotees. And therefore, the Lord had come with a specific mission in mind, as a fish. Fish in Sanskrit is called Matsya. So the Lord can appear in any form as per the need. And then the Lord spoke why He had appeared. And He gave an indication to the king as to why He had appeared and what he should do now. He said, on the 7th day from now, there will be Pralay. You know what is Pralay? Destruction, complete devastation. So Pralay is a word found in the scriptures when everything gets destroyed, the whole universe is destroyed, covered with water, and nothing remains. So he said there will be a Pralay on the 7th day from now, where everything will be inundated with water, everything will be flooded. And but at that time, a large boat sent by me will appear before you to save you. Although everything else will be destroyed, but I will protect you by sending you a large boat. And you should collect all kinds of seeds and herbs and load them into the great vessels with the great sages. All the important seeds, herbs, and the great sages, taking them along, you should board the boat, get onto that boat, and surrounded by all other species of living entities. And this boat will enable you to travel safely in the ocean of devastation. And there will be complete darkness. But then the waves in the ocean are very, very scary. So the boat will be tossed about by the powerful winds. So you should not get scared. Have you ever been inside the ocean for a bath?
I've gone inside the reef and fallen.
The waves are quite
yeah, they're very
powerful.
strong.
So, but when it is the ocean of devastation, they are very scary. So the Lord said, but you should not get scared, because I will appear in this form, huge form, gigantic fish incarnation, and you should attach a rope to the horn on my head. You can see a horn in the picture. There's a rope tied, and it is tied to the boat also. Can you all see?
Yes.
So, but this is not an ordinary rope. Look closely. How does it look like?
It's like seaweed. It looks like a snake.
It's a snake. So there is a planet of the snakes, and the king of the snakes is Vasuki. So he said you should tie Vasuki, one end to the horn on my head and also one end to the boat. And this way, I will personally be maneuvering your boat inside that ocean of devastation. And then I will also instruct you. So you can imagine when some disturbance happens around us, we are not able to focus, and we are only focused about the problems, or there is some stress. It could be related to stress, it could be related to a friend. But even in the midst of all this, the Lord said, I will instruct you. I will speak to you some higher truths. Just like Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in the midst of battlefield. Isn't it? Isn't that amazing? They're about to fight and he's speaking some great philosophy, great instructions. So the Lord is very difficult to understand. Even in the greatest calamity, he can give us the greatest blessings. If we are devoted to him, if we are remembering him, if we are giving our valuable time to worship him. So the Lord said, I will instruct you and you will be perfectly safe. And the same thing happened after this. The Lord disappeared. And the king kept waiting for that seventh day, which the Lord had predicted. And on the seventh day, there were gigantic masses of clouds, and they began incessantly pouring water, so that the ocean swelled more and more until it overflowed onto the land. In this way, the whole world became flooded. And the king suddenly started remembering the Lord. So, there's a very powerful sutra, a principle that if you all can learn and apply in your life. You want to learn that if ever you are stuck in life, if ever there is some distress, if ever there is some problem, we get very hyper, isn't it? We get anxious, we get depressed. But there is one powerful sutra, one principle that if we can internalize, learn and apply in our life, especially at this stage, you are very young, you can learn it at this stage only because this is the age of learning. That's why we go to schools and colleges when we are young, not that 50, 60 years old. Oh, why go to a school? I'll go when I have nothing else to do. Because this is the age of learning. So this is one principle that we must learn from the scriptures. And if we can apply this, you will always be protected. Whenever there is a problem, whenever there is some stress, whenever you are stuck in life, rather than becoming anxious or depressed, all you have to do is just start remembering the Lord. Just focus your mind, your attention on Krishna's form, on the Lord's form, and you will see everything falling into place automatically on its own. You will see all the doors opening for you and everything becoming all right. So the remembrance of the Lord, as soon as we remember the Lord, you can remember his form within your mind, and you can even chant his names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and you will see automatically you will feel much better. Just remembering, if ever you are stuck, any problem at any stage in your life, this one sutra is should be a common thread throughout your life. Remember this always. So the king, when he saw this devastation happening around him, he immediately started remembering the Lord. And as he started remembering, a boat suddenly appeared in the middle of the ocean. And as directed by the Lord, the king, along with the 7 great sages. Now this is the homework. Maybe I'll write it down. Maybe 3-4 questions I'll send you. The 7 great sages, the Saptarishis they are called. And you see that as a constellation, Orion, or I don't remember the exact name, the Great Bear, or which is like a spoon. What is that constellation? 7 stars. So these are the planets of the 7 great sages. So along with them, and as directed by the Lord, along with other species and some herbs and seed, the king got onto the boat. And then the sages told the king, now please meditate on the Lord so that he may save us from this impending danger and arrange for our welfare. And as the king meditated on the Lord in the midst of this devastation, everything was getting destroyed. A beautiful, most beautiful, because the Lord is always beautiful in whatever form he appears. A most beautiful, golden, gigantic fish appeared from nowhere in the middle of the ocean. And because of the effulgence of the fish, this gigantic fish, the entire, you can say the area, you can say the entire universe was illuminated. It was so effulgent, so bright, because after all, it was the Lord. And you know how big it was? Because you remember, this is not some ordinary lake or a river. This is the ocean of devastation covering the whole universe. And gigantic fish appears. And what is the size? it is mentioned in the Bhagavad 1 million yojanas in length. How much is 1 yojan? 1 yojan is 8 miles.
8 miles.
So 1 million yojanas. Now, to our mind, it may seem very incomprehensible. How can this happen? But as I said, there is reality beyond our own experience. Like for an ant, the size of a human being could be unimaginable. Somebody who's 6, 7, 8 feet. So every ant sees things relatively. Like we are like in the frog in the well. Have you heard the story Frog in the Well? I did describe it. 2 frogs in the well. Who remember the story? Yes, Shanika, you want to share the story, the frogs in the well? You could
I
narrate.
don't remember it fully, but I remember it.
Okay. But the whole thing is there are 2 frogs. One lives in the well and one comes from the ocean. So the frog living in the well, he's asking how big is the ocean, and the other frog is trying to explain. So the frog in the well is asking, is it twice the size of the well? Is it 10 times? No, it is much, much bigger. He said, impossible. How can there be anything bigger than the well, 10 times the size of the well? Because he has not seen. So that's where we have to understand, have faith in the scriptures when they describe, because the Lord can appear in any form. And he had a gigantic form, 1 million yojanas in length, and had a large horn on his head. So as instructed by the Lord, the king put that rope, a special rope, which is the snake Vasuki, and that's how the ship was anchored to the fish's horn. And then the king offered beautiful prayers to the Lord, and in return, the Lord spoke in great length about himself, about this creation, and he gave him valuable instructions. So what the Lord spoke to King Satyavrat in this ocean of devastation became known as Matsya Purana. There are how many Puranas? Who remembers? Who knows? Anyone knows how many Puranas are there? There are 18 Puranas. And you know which is the oldest?
There are 18 Qurans.
Qurans nahi. Puran.
Okay, whatever.
What? There are 18 Purans. And which is the oldest? Yes.
Matsya Purana.
Yes, it is the oldest because it was spoken even before this millennium's creation happened. So what the Lord as a fish spoke to King Satyavrat in the ocean of devastation, that became known as or famous as Matsya Purana. So this is the story about the first avatar of the Lord. You'll remember this? Can someone briefly just narrate it for everyone's benefit? Just in a few sentences, just to understand the essence. Who would like to do it? Yes, Sanvi.
Yeah, so basically, there was a king, and he used to worship the god a lot. So he used to also clean the god's mandir a lot. So then one day they got stuck in the water in the big ocean. So then everything started to damage. So then the sages told the king that you try to pray for the god and tell his name and try to remember the god. So once you remember the god, a beautiful golden fish which is large came, and then he came in the god's form, and then they all got saved because they climbed on the fish, and then they went back to the shore.
Okay. Who else? Just raise your hand if somebody else. Sanvi is 70% right. Radhya, you would like to narrate?
Okay.
Okay.
So from the starting.
Yeah, whatever. Just in brief. Fatafat.
Okay, so there was once a king who was a devotee of God. He prayed. He would. Once he was praying to, like, he was praying to Ganga, and when he picked up the Ganga jal, a fish came, and the fish wanted protection. So the king gave him protection in first a water jug and then a lake, but it was all very small for him.
Yeah.
And the king told the the fish told the king that there will be a destruction, and he should take 7 sages and come. He will send a boat, and if he remembers the God's name, then the boat will come to them and they'll get protected. So when the boat came to them, then he had also given instructions that Vasuki is to be tied to the boat and to one horn of the fish, and then they were saved.
Okay, great. So Sanvi was mentioning they got onto the ship. They didn't go on fish. They didn't get onto the fish. Is that what you said, Sanvi? They had a ship. They had a boat. And the name of the river on the banks of which the king was doing tapasya was not Ganga. It was Kritamala. Anyways, you might not remember. That's okay. So what is the name of the second avatar? Anyone remembers? Who remembers the name of the second avatar? There's Matsya. And then second?
The Kurmavatar.
Yes, the Kurmavatar. Kurma is the word for Kashyap or tortoise in Sanskrit. The second avatar of the Lord was known as Kurmavatar. And there is a nice story, very interesting story here. Now, there are two types of people in this world, and they are always existing. They will continue to exist. The good and the bad, the divine and the demonic, the devas and the demons, Rakshasas. They are always fighting against each other. So there was a time when the demons conquered the heavens. And all the devatas, who is the king of the devatas?
Indra.
Indra. Okay. He and all the other devatas had to flee. So they went to Lord Brahma. So there is a system within the universe. When the devatas are in trouble, they can go to their higher authority, which is Lord Brahma. If he can't solve everything, then they go to Shiva. And even if Shiva can't manage everything, then they go to Lord Vishnu, who is the maintainer. So they all ultimately went to Lord Vishnu because the demons were very powerful at this time. And they had taken over the heavens. And they were ruling over the universe now. So they all went to Lord Vishnu. They prayed, and Lord Vishnu appeared in his beautiful four-armed form. What are the 4 symbols in Lord Vishnu's hands? What does he carry in his 4 hands? Raise your hand before you answer. What are the 4 symbols? Yes, Shivya.
I know that in one he carries a gada maybe.
Gada, yes.
And maybe one is facing down. Maybe.
Second one, what did you say?
Maybe one is facing down.
Yes, Radhya.
One is a Sudarshan Chakra, a Gada. I think one is a lotus and Shankh.
Shankh, yes, true. Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma, conch shell, disc, a lotus flower, and a club, Gada. So Lord Vishnu appeared in his beautiful, gigantic form. And he told them an interesting story. Now you would be surprised to see how the Lord tells a story. He said, that he told the devatas, at this time, the time is on their favor. Time is in their favor. The demons are very strong. So you should make friendship with them. Would you do that? Your worst enemies and your...
Never, they'll keep following you otherwise.
Make friendship with them. So the devatas had the similar reaction. like Rohit said, never. They didn't say it, but they were feeling, make friends with those people who have just kicked us out of our homes. How is that possible? Then the Lord told them a story to understand. He said, there was a mouse and a snake. They were trapped inside a basket. The basket was upside down and both were stuck inside. Now the snake eats the rat, isn't it? But the snake is thinking, now I need to get out, but I don't have the necessary facility to do so. The rat's teeth are quite sharp, and the rat can actually pierce through the basket and make a hole. So then we can escape. So the snake, what he did, snake had no desire to be friends with the rat. He just wanted to eat up this little rat. But he said, oh no, let's be friends. Let's give up our enmity. Now we are both stuck and I just want to be your friend. And the rat had no option. Imagine if the rat had said no. The rat had no option. So okay. They shook hands. But they didn't have any. Does the snake have any hands? You all agreed?
No.
Then, so they became friends. Now the snake said, let's get out of this. Then we'll go out and enjoy. We'll play together. We'll roam around. We'll go to different hill stations, spend time together. So the rat said, all right. The snake said, you can make a hole with your teeth and then we can both get out. The rat agreed. Poor rat made a hole. And when the hole was big enough, the rat was about to move out. But the snake said, wait. You have made a hole. You will get out. What if the hole is not good enough for my size? So let me first try going out. If I can escape, then you can also come out, because you can always do that. If the hole is smaller, you have sharp teeth. So the rat agreed. Snake came out and just with its mouth open, started waiting for the rat to come out. As soon as the rat came out of the hole, the snake immediately ate him up. The rat was gone. So this story, Lord Vishnu tells all the devatas. He said, you should be like that. At this time, you need their help to do something wonderful. And alone, you won't be able to do it. So just make friendship with them for some time. Then we can all take care of the demons. We'll destroy them. And the devata said, then what should we do? Said, you should churn the milk ocean. Ocean of milk is where Lord Vishnu resides. He sleeps. He said, you should churn the milk ocean. When you do churning, what comes out? When you churn yogurt, what comes out? When you churn... Huh? Who said that?
Ratya.
When you churn yogurt, you're saying milk comes out.
Oh, sorry.
Butter. When you churn curd, the butter comes out. Okay, you can still check with your mother. Maybe in your home, milk might be coming out. All right. So, and the Lord said, when you start churning the milk ocean, many things would come out because of the churning. But you should not get attracted by them. Wait for the nectar. Nectar will come out in the end. And that nectar, it's called Amrit. Drinking that, you will become extremely powerful. Your lifespan will increase. You will kind of become close to immortal. And then the demons won't be able to kill you. You can attack them and kill them after gaining that power from nectar. Till then, just take their help, because you need their help. Take their help as much as it's needed, then we will take care of them. And he said, many things will come out. The first thing that will come out will be poison. But don't get discouraged and don't give up till the final product comes out. Just go on. Now, what can you learn from this? What is the lesson Lord is trying to teach? Is that sometimes we also have a goal in life, isn't it? We want to achieve something, we want to accomplish something. But sometimes there may be disappointments, we may not be able to accomplish, there may be failures, but the Lord is teaching that go on, keep working hard, even if there are obstacles, till you achieve what you want to in life. So don't just give up because there are certain failures. Failures are also a part of success. Failures are not unusual. Sometimes you will, so failures simply teach you something. So they say we never fail. Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. So we learn from our failures that what we should not do in future, and we just carry on with what we are expected to do. And the Lord said, when the nectar comes out, then we'll take care. You will also work hard. They will also equally work hard with the same goal. But eventually you will get the nectar they want. Another very powerful lesson. So people who are devotees of the Lord, they also work hard in this world. Everybody does. But eventually the greater blessings come to those who are faithful to the Lord. He said the demons also will be helping. They will also be putting equal effort in churning the ocean. They will also have the same goal, put in equal amount of strength. But eventually, and you will also do the same, but eventually the nectar will be given to you only. So everybody works hard, but those who are devoted to the Lord, they receive greater blessings. So always remember this. So in our life, we have to work hard. We have to study. We have to do whatever is needed. At the same time, we have to be connected to the Lord through prayers, through chanting, through service, through hearing about Him, so that we can receive His grace all the time. And then the Lord said, you need to, how to churn the milk ocean? He said, you have to put all the necessary herbs into the ocean. He gave the list of herbs that were to be put inside the ocean. Then he said, now for churning, you need a rod, isn't it? Churning rod and a rope. Have you ever seen your mother churning, or your grandparents, or in TV? On TV, have you ever seen how the churning of the yogurt happens? Like this. There is a rod and there is a rope. So the Lord said, you'll need a special kind of rod, and that would be Mandar Parvat, the Mandar mountain. It's a huge mountain that should be made as the pivot or the churning rod, and you will need a special rope. Again, the rope became Vasuki, the king of snakes, who had become the rope for King Satyavrat also, to be tied to the horn of Lord Matsya, fish. And then the churning started. When the churning started, first thing happened, as they started churning, the mountain just sank. You know why? Why? Why did the mountain just sink when they started churning?
Because the mountain was heavier than water?
Yeah, it is heavy. And this mountain is made of gold, not stone. Gold is heavier than the stone. So there was no support below the mountain, and the ocean is deep. So as they started churning, the mountain just sank. So the demons and the devatas, they both became extremely disappointed. They were saddened by the turn of events. And then they again, well, the devatas, they immediately remember the Lord. As I said, whenever we get stuck in life, we should follow in their footsteps. Whenever something goes wrong, the devatas, we should learn from them. They don't run around, they don't become anxious. They simply remember the Lord, they pray to Him for help. And anybody who does that, he's always helped by the Lord. The Lord will never let us down. So they prayed to the Lord for help because the mountain had sunk. With great difficulty, they had brought the mountain here. So then the Lord appeared in a beautiful but gigantic form of a tortoise, and held or balanced the mountain on his back. You know, the back of a tortoise is very hard. Know this fact? It's very strong. So the Lord appeared, as you can see in the image, as a tortoise and balanced the mountain on his back. So now it's a huge mountain. It's not a small tortoise. His size was like billions of miles wide, the back itself, covering the ocean. And on his back, the mountain was supported. And this particular incarnation of the Lord became known as Kurmavatar, because the Lord incarnates only to help his devotees when they call out to him. So what we learn from the avatars of the Lord, that whenever the devotees call out to the Lord is there to help. In this one Leela, he was called out so many times, and every time he was being remembered, he was appearing to help. And even the great devatas were not able to accomplish what they wanted to without his grace. So they were putting in the effort, but his grace was something which was making it complete, which was making them successful at every stage. So this great tortoise, the Kurma avatar, or he is also known as Kashyap avatar, the second avatar of the Lord, appeared to help the devatas. And he was gigantic, huge. And when the mountain was being used to churn, so you can imagine if somebody rubs a stone on our back, how would we feel? There's a huge mountain getting rubbed on his back, but the Lord felt a pleasing sensation and fell asleep. Went to sleep. And when we sleep, what happens is, very interesting information here. I'll end with this. When we sleep, what happens? We breathe in and breathe out, exhale, inhale, isn't it? So the Lord, when he fell asleep, he also started breathing. So exhaling and inhaling. And when he was exhaling, the water was going towards the shore. When he would inhale, the water would just be pulled inside. And that is how the system of waves in the ocean started. Before this, the ocean did not have waves as such. It is said that when the Lord started breathing in and breathing out, the waves appeared in the ocean. And since then, they have been existing. Interesting, right? And then the churning continued. It's a long story. Ultimately, the devatas got the Amrit, the nectar, and they defeated the demons. They regained their heavens by the blessings of the Lord. So these are the first two avatars of the Lord. So the first is, what is the name of the first one?
Matsyavatar.
Matsya, who came to save his devotee. Second one is
Kurmavatar.
Kurmavatar, who came as a tortoise. And in both the cases, the Lord appears to save his devotees, to protect us. Anybody who remembers the Lord will always be protected. So remember, anytime we get stuck, all we have to do is just remember him, pray to him, bring his form into your mind, or chant his names, and you will see magic manifesting in your life. So there is a very special prayer called Dashavatars Stotra, which is very, very auspicious to recite in the morning. It will just take you 5-10 minutes. But I will teach all of you. So today we have learned about Matsya and Kurma. So the first two verses, there are 10 verses of the prayer. So first two, the verses I'll be posting on the chat and along with the recitation. So this will be the homework. You have to just memorize it. It is kind of a song. It is sung. And once you learn it, you will be able to recite it every day. And it is very, very auspicious. You will always remain under the shelter of the Lord. He will always bless you. Is that okay? So next week also I'll do 2 avatars. Then we'll complete it in like 5 sessions, the 10 avatars. And by that time, you will be able to memorize the whole prayer. It's very auspicious, very special. It's called Dashavatars Stotra and very famous also. And if we can make it a routine to recite it in the morning and begin our day like this, we will have the blessings of the Lord throughout the day. All right. Any questions?
Nope.
Any questions? No questions.
When will you show us magic?
Which magic?
You said you know magic.
The time is up. Next week for sure. Pakka. This time I forgot. Next week we'll do. Promise. Somebody can remind me. Somebody can remind me on the chat itself. Who will do that? Ananya, you? Who will do? Okay, Shrinika is saying. Acha, where is Anvi today? Radha, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, okay.
I think she's at her cousin's house for something.
Okay, ठीक है. So we'll see you next week. Hare Krishna, same time.